to introduce Marius Smit from Plastic Whale. Marius, do you want to introduce yourself quickly and explain a little bit about who Plastic Whale is and what your mission is?
Yeah. Well, I'm Marius Smit. I'm the captain of Plastic Whale. I'm the founder. Plastic Whale is the plastic rescue company. We are a social enterprise with a special mission, is that we fight for plastic-free land and sea.
How do you do that?
Well, our organization is based upon 4 pillars, actually. We collect, we create, we educate, and partnerships. So collection is all about involving as many people as possible to collect as much plastic waste from nature as possible. We do that by organizing plastic fishing events, for instance, in the canals of Amsterdam, but also in other cities of Europe. But in Amsterdam, it's become a big hit. Over 50,000 people have gone plastic fishing with us so far. But we've also developed an on-land version, which is called company cleanup. So people can clean up their own neighborhoods, for instance. Well, the second pillar is we create, because we keep the PET bottles and the bottle caps separate. Because we use those bottles and bottle caps as a raw material for creating, first of all, our boats. We have a fleet of 12 boats in Amsterdam and 2 in Rotterdam, and they're made with a PET foam that is made from the bottles that we took from the canals. We create beautiful furniture, like the lamps just behind me. They're made from PET filled, but also office furniture we make from it, and flower pots nowadays. So that is the second pillar, we create. The third is that we educate. I give a lot of presentations at home and abroad to different organizations that want to transform their sustainability strategy into action. And we have a school program through our Plastic Whale Foundation that targets 11 and 12-year-olds so they can join with their whole class on plastic fishing missions and the whole school program. And the fourth pillar is that we create partnerships together with large organizations that, for instance, sponsor a boat or go plastic fishing with us, but also that we create products together with them. And the aim is to involve the stakeholders of those companies and get them into action to create something positive for this beautiful world.
So I'm really intrigued by that idea of a fishing expedition. What does that look like practically?
It's very simple, actually, and that's the beauty of it. You know, it's we meet people on our boats, and there's a skipper on the boat, and we give them fishing nets, and we go onto the canals, and they take out any plastic or other kind of waste that they encounter on the canals of Amsterdam. We separate the waste on the boat. And afterwards, like I said, we take the PET bottles and the bottle caps and we keep them separate to create new products. And the rest of the waste material, we give it to the garbage men. And we go onto the canals for about 2 hours. And after 2 hours, people come back with huge smiles. You know, it makes everybody incredibly happy because it's very concrete. It's something that is small, but it's very concrete. You add something concrete to the beauty of the canals of Amsterdam.
So how did you come up with the idea to do this? Because it seems like, you know, you're in this place reaching thousands of people with 12 boats that I presume you've made from the materials that you have found. Where did that original idea come from?
Well, I started not with a plan, but with a strategy, because I was by myself 10 years ago when I wanted to do something about the growing problem of plastic soup. And at the time, it wasn't a very well-known problem. But I thought I want to create this movement of civilians, companies, and government institutions that work together towards a positive outcome. And I thought, okay, how am I going to do that? Then I was inspired by John F. Kennedy's speech of 1961, during which he portrayed his mission of putting a man on the moon. And at the time, that was clearly impossible, but it was relevant because of the race against the Russians. And it was time bound, there was a lot of pressure on it. But mostly there was this beautiful, vision of this man standing on the moon that excited people. So he created this movement of people who wanted to innovate and move forward. And that created a lot of technological spin-off. And I thought people want to be part of a movement, of a challenge. So I create my own man on the moon, so to speak, because nowadays, because of social media, you don't have to be called Kennedy anymore to create a movement. And my man on the moon sounded like, I want to build a boat made from plastic waste, yet I've never driven a boat, let alone built one. So please help me. And I didn't know what would happen afterwards, but I believe that if you take one step forward, if you start creating, something else will always follow, but you don't necessarily know what will follow. Like, I never knew that we would have plastic fishing events, that we would create a whole fleet of boats, or that we would create office furniture, so to speak. That all followed because I took the first step, and that many people joined me to move forward. And that's everything that Plastic Whale is nowadays. I owe to so many people who joined me during this mission.
And you mentioned that you had boats based in Amsterdam and Rotterdam. So are you an organisation just focused in the Netherlands, or do you kind of reach beyond kind of that country?
Yeah, we want to reach far beyond the Netherlands because obviously it's a worldwide problem. We started a project in Ghana last year, and we're learning from that. So hopefully we'll develop that more in the coming years. But also we have been to other cities in Europe together with our partners. For instance, a few years ago in London, we went plastic fishing. And with one of our Dutch partners, we're looking into creating something in the UK, for instance, by organizing cleanups and creating beautiful products from it. So you can involve thousands of people from the UK as well. But for that, you need the right partners. Everything we do is based upon partnerships with larger organizations.
Brings me perfectly onto the next question I had in mind, which is, how do you form those partnerships? What do you look for from a partner? And if there was anyone watching this who was interested in joining as a partner, what would they have to do?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a two-way street. We call it a partnership and not a sponsorship, because you add something to each other's mission, so to speak. So for us, it's important that the partner supports our mission. On the other hand, we are looking at, okay, how can we support our partner involving their various stakeholders, like the employees or maybe suppliers or customers, because that is very often where it's difficult for companies. Because if you're looking at CSR goals, mostly they're quite vague and distant. We bring it back to something very tangible and concrete. So together with those partners, we look at a briefing. Okay, what's your problem? Which stakeholders do you want to involve? And what kind of plans and products can we develop to involve your various stakeholders? And we do that here in the Netherlands as we speak, together with the largest insurance company in the Netherlands, but also Scotch and Soda, for instance, who are in fashion. Those are the kinds of partners, the very diverse partners that we attract. Yeah.
That sounds absolutely fascinating. And if a individual or kind of citizen was watching this, how might they get involved in the work?
And how might they get involved? Well, via phone. Our door is always open to start conversations about a partnership, for instance. So, but it all comes down to the willingness to put your money where your mouth is. I started Plastic Whale 10 years ago just by myself with a challenge. And so far we've involved tens of thousands of people, and we've become a self-sustaining, economically self-sustaining company. I mostly want to show people that very often, it's great to think big, but you have to start small. And that's an open door, maybe, that's general wisdom, so to speak. But it really is true. But because if you start doing something, then something will always follow. And now on the part of sustainability, we really must start doing. That's apparent, obvious to anybody. So yeah, and if people are in that kind of mindset, I'm more than willing to talk to them and see how we can help each other.
And so I just want to say thank you for your time. Is there any kind of final words of wisdom you'd want to share with the kind of participants of Planet Data 4?
Yeah, well, like I said, my main mission as a person is to activate people. Our credo of Plastic Whale is stop talking, let's start doing. I started Plastic Whale when I was 38 years old, and not earlier because I was too scared to start, because I was scared to fail. Because failure doesn't look good on your CV, right? But since I quit being afraid and started being vulnerable and asking people to help me, it opened everything. And that made everything possible and has made Plastic Whale to what it is today. So I would like to say, stop talking, start doing.
I think that's an incredible message to leave on. I just want to say thank you again ever so much for your time. I really look forward to kind of seeing what you kind of do next and kind of keeping an eye on Plastic Whale. And I am definitely sitting here coveting those lights behind you. So I'm definitely going to go and have a look at that after this. So
All right.
thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.